That one. All right, gentlemen, let's move straight to our next conversation. The lofty role of Nigeria in African stability and liberation cannot be denied. As such, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shaibu, has reaffirmed Nigeria's leading role in West Africa's security framework. General Shaibu stated that Liberia's current peace and stability reflects Nigeria's firm commitment to African unity and the sacrifices of the Nigerian Army. Speaking as a special guest of honor at the 69th Armed Forces Day anniversary of the Armed Forces of Liberia in Monrovia, the Army Chief described Nigeria's intervention during Liberia's civil war as a deliberate foreign and defense policy decision aimed at promoting regional stability. He emphasized that Nigeria's participation under the ECOWAS monitoring group, ECOMOG, was a principled commitment to prevent state collapse and restore order, rather than a transactional engagement. I mean, gentlemen, I'll start with you. In hindsight, what were the key strategic lessons, Nigeria learned from the Liberian intervention? I was still a young man, pretty young then, when Nigeria, the ECOMOG thing happened.
I was also young.
But what were the lessons Nigeria actually learned from that intervention?
For me, beyond the textbooks, and because someone like you
exactly.
the story today, they were in Liberia.
Yeah, he will take me through.
But for me, the advantage I think I have is that my mom is from Liberia. So that's
really?
shocking to
Oh,
me.
okay.
So to an extent, we were monitoring the thing. We were monitoring how Samado was misbehaving.
Yeah.
We were monitoring how Charles Taylor and the
Yomi Johnson.
The Yomi Johnson. Now you're textbook has done well.
Exactly.
So basically, for me, I couldn't feel better than as a Nigerian than that time, because what that portrays to us is that we were so committed about regional peace. We took it so serious to the extent that till now, Nigerians are well respected in Liberia. You'll recall that even the former president of Liberia, George Weah, even had to come on a visit, to come and pay his homage to late Buhari when he died, because they felt these are people who actually contributed to the peace they enjoy today.
Yes.
So for me, it's not just a big brother thing. And I love what they said. It was purely not transactional. We're given resources, we're given personnel, we're giving virtually every part of the economy. Nigeria was making sure that it came back to life, because it wasn't a funny experience.
It wasn't.
By the way, I even lost my grandmother to that war.
Okay.
And so that tells you that there was a lot Nigeria did for Liberia. There was a lot Nigeria did to Syria alone. So when you see some of these hegemons coming up in West Africa and trying to run down Nigeria and not respect Nigeria, they need to be told the history. They need to be told the role Nigeria has played for them to even exist as a nation in the West African region. So we are truly a big brother to these countries.
Sure.
And for us, I think we don't have any regret, because that earned us a lot of respect. If you take care of the regional bloc, by the way, you're also protecting your people.
Exactly.
So it would not be foolish of, remember those people were saying, what is your business, Nigeria? Face your business, face your business. If you leave your brothers, borderless, if you leave your brothers open to all kinds of governance and government, one day it is going to affect you. So if you help your brother, at the end of the day, you are helping yourself.
Also helping yourself.
I think there's no regret in my view. And for those people who are short-sighted, it's just for them to pick a lesson and know that being a big brother is worth it.
It's worth it. I mean, the Chief of Army Staff, he described Nigeria's intervention in Liberia as a conscious foreign policy decision. I mean, what does this suggest?
Well, we are still pursuing that policy consciously. You recollect that our neighbor, the last time some people tried to take over power there, we had to go quickly, scramble the
fighter jets
to stabilize things. Like you said, there is a saying in a part of this country, Nigeria, when your neighbor is eating a dangerous insect during the day and you don't see anything, At night, all of you will not be able to sleep. It's not the only one who won't be able to sleep. Yorubas, that's what they say. And that was a policy that we took then, because we know Africa is our fort. We've been virtually everywhere with our military. And that was why at some point, even the UN recognized us as the best foot armed forces, because our men can move on foot. And then at some point, we also got it right, especially in Liberia and Sierra Leone, where our Air Force, with even what was considered, or those things that were considered as obsolete equipment, we performed wonders. So for me, if we have, like we were told then, which I'm not sure is the right figure, we had spent then about $5 billion.
Yeah, we spent a lot.
Which I believe is underestimated.
No.
Yeah, that's my belief, because when you see, if you have, I was in Liberia and Sierra Leone a couple of times, maybe about 5 times, and the kind of deployment that we did, even when you see a ship from Nigeria arriving with foodstuff that will take days to bring out, not that we were selling, it's for our troops and the people. Oh. Because at some point when we went to Liberia, we couldn't get okra to eat. It was the leaves that we ate. That was what they cooked for us, not the okra itself. Yeah, it was that bad. So when you go into a place like that, you deserve respect.
You deserve respect, absolutely.
It's not taken away from the Americans. But even the Americans, with all their intelligence and all this, could not bring Charles Taylor out from where he was. It took the late General Victor Leo Malu.
Yeah, Victor Malu, yes.
It took him, that intervention, and they went on foot to where I was, fighting through barricades. So when you do such, you deserve commendation. But some people have pointed it out. Nigeria is not a country that want to do you good and stay put there. That was the error we committed in Liberia and Sierra Leone. We finished the task,
yes,
and we left them. Even after training their armed forces, the armed forces of Liberia, we didn't take economic benefits away from there. Because maybe at that time, we felt we were doing them
a favor,
some good, our African brothers. But some other countries went in and took over. And they did benefit economically. I'm not sure we're going to commit that kind of error again. Anywhere we go again. I'm not sure.
Now, talking about General Victor Malu, there are some Nigerian soldiers who paid the ultimate price.
Yes.
At that, during that war. How should Nigeria memorialize, these persons who paid the ultimate price during that Liberian intervention?
I think it is what should apply in all cases when you have veterans, when you have people who pay the ultimate price just to keep peace. That's one of the reasons why some Nigerians, including me, took it personal when South Africa started this xenophobic thing, because there was so much. We were told in our primary school back in the days to contribute money, that we need to support our brother in South Africa, that they were going through the apartheid. So this is our thing. But like you said, in international diplomacy or in foreign policy, it is not, there is no Father Christmas, so to say.
Again,
that's why someone like Trump would tell you that I want this, I want this, I want this. I can't just be budgeting this amount of money. What is the need for me?
What's the common interest?
So the military man must have said it wasn't transactional. Kudos. But beyond being transactional, you need to establish yourself. You need to understand that this territory, it's something that you still stay in, not to tamper with your sovereignty, but to establish yourself as a big brother.
Yes.
You will know what kind of business, what kind of economy. I know we're still doing well. In case you don't know, if you go to Idumota market here, there are a lot of trade coming from Liberia. Yes, I'm fully, I told you my mom is from there. So they still do trade. They come here. When it comes to our Nollywood, they are one of our biggest consumers. You understand? Shockingly, this is not business. Even when it comes to our gospel, some of our preachers are superstars when they go to those countries. So Nigeria has become that beacon of light that they see. Good and good. But beyond that, let it reflect in everything that we do.
Absolutely.
So for these men who are paid the ultimate price, they should be taken care of. They should be celebrated. And I won't be shocked if
maybe
these
like
men are also even being celebrated over there. So I think they should also be celebrated over there. We should put it in our consciousness.
I also heard that some Nigerian officers were decorated, at the event. But what does the decoration of these Nigerian officers, by Liberia signify in terms of military diplomacy?
It just signifies the fact that they are appreciative of the efforts we put in. But before I speak about this, the last one, we have a military arcade and we have a military burial ground in Abuja. That's where they bury most of these guys.
Oh dear.
I'm sure you recollect that General Mitisheke Kobe died as a result of that war moving from Liberia into Sierra Leone. We celebrated him because from what we learned, it was while they were crossing through the sea on foot at some point because their boat couldn't move too close into the shallow waters in Sierra Leone that he got beaten. So, but in all of it, I think we can do more.
We can do more.
We can always do more, especially not for us. I've not had tales from wives or children of those who died fighting this war. Not so many. So we can do more.
Maybe their families.
Their families should be taken care of, scholarship and all the rest. But the first one, which I always like, is the military ceremony they perform when people die. It's always nice. It gives some sort of succor to the family.
Exactly.
Pride, and all the rest. So Liberia must appreciate us the more than they are doing.
We deserve it.
We deserve it.
Yes.
And we can also now still take that economic advantage by ensuring that they don't only come here. Once we get our internal dynamics right, our companies can move into Liberia. They should treat us well. Ghana is treating us better than it used to now because somehow we also helped with the Ghana situation for them to stabilize. So if we go
they might want to argue that, but
there is no argument about that. They know it.
Fact of it.
It's there.
I want to argue that.
It's there, well documented. Because when they had their challenges, we took them in. They can't also allow Nigerians.
Probably they choose to remember the Ghana Muslims.
Exactly, because we chased them out.
Yes, because at that point we needed to. So we can also still benefit from there by consciously establishing Nigerian businesses there. Like I said, we first need to get our own internal dynamics right.
True.
Ensure that our manufacturing ramps up instead of companies leaving us to go into neighboring countries, and then we can start moving.
Okay, now in the era of global powers expanding their footprints in West Africa, Russia is coming, France, and all of it. Now, how can Nigeria safeguard its influence against external powers in West Africa?
So it's gone global now. Then you could say that if any of the world powers need anything, they'll rather go to Nigeria and ask what is really going on there. Can you please help? The ECOMOG forces were very much, I don't think it exists now. We have multinational JTF and the rest that has come to play similar role. But when ECOMOG was ECOMOG, the United Nations doesn't need to deploy troops before these issues are resolved in the West African region. So basically, I think it's for us to continue in that trend. That's why it is only politicians that were reading meaning to what the president did in the Republic of Benin. It was the best decision.
The best decision,
to have done.
true.
And that's to also send signal to the world power that Nigeria still has that capacity and is working in that realm to say that, hey, don't go to this region.
Don't come
there is a senior brother, there is a big brother, you understand, who is handling that.
True.
And it's for us to fortify our army. Unfortunately, we've had so many internal issues that our militaries are focusing on, because as we speak, except the number has changed, as at the last time, we have military presence in almost 28 to 30 states, you know, doing what police should be doing. So we've had to suffer insurgency and some other things that have crept in. But beyond that, I think it's for us to win this war completely and also secure our territorial integrity, then do the big brother role, you know, in the West African region before we can go into other regions. But I think a lot of things have changed, and for now, Nigeria first.
Nigeria
is
first.
our policy.
Also at the event, the Chief of Army Staff also identified synthetic drugs as a national security concern. You know, how drugs is actually fueling insecurity, most especially, you know, in the sub-region. But we need to go on this quick break, and when we return, the conversation